You may be wondering, can a woman really become a king? Today, we'll tell the story of a living female king, King Peggy.
My name is Nana Amoa Afeni VI. I'm a lady king of a royal Ebirazi family of Otua. My family find it very appropriate to give me this kingship because it's not common in Africa and even in Ghana for a woman to be a king. So it's a very big honor to have my family, giving me such an honor. And also I can tell you, for this honor, it's a blessing from God. It's not from a human being. Because before I became the king, I was very reluctant to accept it when my family called me. But I started hearing some voices that spoke to me. For 3 days, those voices spoke to me, telling me, Nana, it's your destiny. It's not every day that a woman is born to be a king. So it took me 3 days of fasting and prayer to be able to accept this calling.
King Peggy became the first female chief in Otuam, Ghana, a village of 7,000 residents, after her uncle, who was the former king, transitioned. She's not the only one. About 3,500 years ago, Hatshepsut, the powerful female ruler of Egypt, ruled as a male pharaoh for about 20 years, making her the only female pharaoh of ancient Egypt. Did it take other people time to get accustomed to this too, or did they all welcome you from the community as a king?
Well, it's for a woman to come and rule over men who are really set up in their own ways was a battle. But since I'm anointed king, and from my family, and then the blessings from all my people, I was able to handle it, and they have been so receptive of me.
King Peggy was living in a one-bedroom condo, working as a secretary for the Ghanaian embassy in D.C. for almost 30 years when selected as a village chief. In contrast, as a chief, on holidays, her new home became a palace in Ghana. To show respect to King Peggy, residents bow to her, and children do not look at her directly in her eyes. Her honorary title is Nana, traditionally reserved for those with a higher status, like kings and chiefs or grandparents.
When you go to the cities, you had good food, you have everything. But in the real world, Africa, when you go to the villages, they don't eat all this, scrumptious dishes that we eat. They eat raw vegetables, which is good for them. They eat fish. They don't even eat much meat, because in my village, they don't eat meat because, we are under the coast or coastal area. And all that they eat is fish and vegetables and, and the way they cook it, they steam it and then eat it. So that's real Africa.
King Peggy's installment celebration was in 2009. The necessary food items were Fanta, Coke, beer and whiskey, rice, fish, and chicken. And here's a quote by T. McCaskey. The installment celebrations are dense masses of people, intense noise, drumming, firing, cheering, singing, yelling, crying, debating, and a seemingly chaotic, highly fragmented, and relentlessly sustained assault on all the human senses. What do you see female leaders doing for the continent itself?
Beautifully, and we're working hard. Where the men had failed us, the women are doing it. Because you see, women, we do things with passion. If I say passion, I meant passion. And we're really honest. I'm not saying the men are not honest, but women, we have dignity where we don't want to be said, this thing was given to you to use it for such and such a thing, and you didn't, do it. We don't want to be embarrassed. So women can really change the world. And, when a woman sets her mind on something, she does it, and she does it really well.
Ghana has queen mothers. They're counterparts to the chief, and together they represent Africa's gender duality. They're called mothers because they oversee an entire community, giving women a voice. One queen mother, Nana Ya Asantewaa, led the Ashanti British War of 1900 in opposition to the theft of their sacred golden stool and other accumulating issues. What are some of those qualities that you would think that would be really great for those Africans who are dislocated, who were forced abroad all throughout the world? What do you think would be important for them to learn from Africa and to take from Africa and maybe to reincorporate into their lives as Africans?
Well, for them to be able to incorporate anything in Africa for their lives, that's how I said earlier, they have to be in the villages. They have to interact with the people in the villages to understand the need and how they were before they came here to be Americanized. Because, you see, Africa is not, they don't have much, especially when you go to the villages. They have some that they can be content with because they are not exposed to the Western world. They are happy with what they have. We are very happy with family. We have a way of where the family is really a valuable thing to us. Over here, even though they like their family, but because of the way the world is structured in the Western world, you may love your family, but you still have to go and work and come home. So when a husband is going, the wife is going. A husband come home, the wife is gone. The children come home, there is nobody to supervise them. They do things on their own. But in Africa, the wife and the woman and the children, they sit down and talk. When the children come from school, there's mother or father at home. So it's not like, go, like the Western world. In Africa, if the Americans want to really understand Africa, the quality life that the family have, or even the friends have, the sisters, the brothers, the friends have, is very important. Because when one person is hurt, the whole village is hurt. Everybody will go there and try to help. Whilst over here, your neighbor, even if you are hurting, he doesn't or she doesn't have time to come and help. And it's not that, he or she is doing it intentionally, but the time doesn't permit.
That's true.
They have to work. Africa, though, they work. In the villages, they go farming, they go fishing, but they make sure that they have time.
Africans traditionally have a communal culture. Africans live interdependently, so group goals precedes individual goals. Extended family structures are emphasized, and duty determines one's behavior.
All that I want to say is that it's always nice to be united to each other. We have to be very friendly to people, and you have to be good, and you have to respect people and respect yourself, and be very dignified in whatever you do, and not to be calling people names because it doesn't help, but rather it helps, and it's really, doesn't really help a relationship.
King Peggy's attire is familiar to the Ghanaian king's royal regalia. It's a hand-woven, colorful kente cloth that men wear over their left shoulder, a crown, necklaces, rings, bracelets, and amulets. The Ashanti Henny, the king of the Ashanti Empire, might be adorned with so much gold that his assistants have to help him move. In the village of Otuam, residents referred to the chief as king, and King Peggy preferred to be called king rather than queen. And that's the story of how she came to be King Peggy. Thank you so much, and it's been an absolute pleasure to speak with you, Nana. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me, and I hope I see you someday in Africa, and also to visit my village of 7,000 people.
I hope so too.